I, Dr.Ashwin Dobariya, welcomes you to Programming in C video series. In this video, we'll discuss a concept of identifiers and variables with its declaration rules. In previous video, we have seen that the concept of C tokens and the concept of constants. And now in this video, we will discuss these two important concepts, identifiers and variables. As you know that friends, in our programs, whenever we write any program, then whatever value we want to manage, for that we require to declare a variable first. So first, at least you should aware about the concept of identifiers and the concept of variables. And whenever you want to give a name of any variables, then which are the rules you have to follow as per the C programming syntax. So let's see the concept of identifier first. Identifier and variable, both are the different terminology. That is one thing. The first is identifier. What is identifier? So we know that in C programs, the statement is generally designed with the help of different word, you can say, right? So here identifier is nothing but it is a user defined names of variables, or you can say array, and the function name in our program. So whenever we give a name of any variable, whenever we give a name of any array or any functions, so that name, that user defined name, we consider as a identifier. So that is very simple concept of identifier. Here we will also see certain example of the identifier. Another thing is how we can make this identifier name. So identifiers names are generally made with the help of combination of alphabets like A to Z, small a to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9 digits, and special symbols like underscore only. So the identifier name always form with the help of combination of all these C characters. Let's see the few example of the identifier. Suppose in our C program, if we declare like this, integer x comma y comma z, for example, then here x, y and z all are the variables name. So these variables names are also known as a identifier. Sometimes in our program we require to declare a array. So array concept we will discuss in upcoming video, but here the array means it's a group of element, or you can say array is a group of similar elements, right? So here suppose I want to store a group of characters, then I have to declare the character array. So here character name of 10, it means suppose I want to store my name like Ashwin, then Ashwin is a group of characters. So name is not a simple variable, but here name is a character array. So this character array name is also known as a identifier. And the last, in C programs, whenever we are developing a complex problems, complex solution, then our entire solution is divided in a different function that is known as a UDF function. So whenever we give our own name to any function, so that function name is also known as a identifier. So in general way we can say identifier is nothing but it's a user defined name of any variables or a array or a function. That is the overall concept of identifier. Now the concept of variable, that is very important things, because whenever we think about to write any C programs, then we always think about the list of variable that required in these programs. So first, what is the variable? For that, for understand this concept, let's see the concept of the memory. So here we consider memory means a RAM where our program is generally executes, and in executes, whenever our program is in a execute mode, at that time it allocates certain memory for the variables. So variable is a container for the data, because in our program, like very simple, let me take a very simple example, like we want to calculate sum of two numbers. So sum of two number means here we want to manage three value. One is x, another is y, for example, and another is z. So here x, y and z, and exact on that location generally we are storing the value and we perform certain operation. So variable means what? Whenever in a program you want to store certain value, then where you will store this value? So you require a container, right? Container is nothing but it is a thing which always stores something. variable is also a container, and container which always store the value or a data which actually required in the program execution. So variable is a container for a data, or you can say value, that may change during the program execution. In previous video we have seen the concept of constant. So constant value always remain fixed, but here variable value always change during the program execution. It means suppose at the time of declaration I want to assign the value of x is 5. After at the later stage I want to modify the value of x, suppose x is equal to 10. So the variable value always vary during the program execution. Another thing is, in case of variable, it is an identifier for a memory location. So variable is also a memory location where the value can be stored and it is changed during the program execution, and user can retrieve update value for the variable. Suppose in our C program we have written like this: integer x is equal to 5 comma y. Then what exactly happen in a memory? So memory, it's RAM. So here we have declared two variable x and y. So in memory, compiler allocates 2 bytes, because here x and y both are the integer data type, and integer data type variable occupies 2 bytes of memory. That concept we'll learn in the data type theory portions in upcoming video, right? So here just x occupies 2 bytes, similarly y occupies 2 bytes, and this location will be vary whenever you execute the program. But this is not a part of our we don't require to worry about that, because it is the managed by the compiler and operating system, but internal things at least you should aware about that. So when we declare integer x is equal to 5 comma y, then what happen exactly in memory? So in memory generally it's suppose if we consider this red box, then this is the red box, right? So this memory is having three things. One is x. X means it's a variable name, so this memory location is identified with the name of x. Another thing is x is equal to 5 means the value of this memory location is 5, and every location is having a memory address. Suppose for understanding I have given the memory address like 203030, and this memory address may be vary. Suppose if you execute the program, then it may be possible x and y allocate over here. When you execute second time, maybe x is allocated over here, y is allocated here. So in a memory, in a RAM, each and every part, every memory area is having a address, right? That is known as a memory location. And see, whenever we write in a ampersand in scanf function, it means we are indicating the address of that particular variable. So here in case of x is equal to 5, so x is the variable name, 5 is the value of variable, and this is the address. Now in case of y, we have not initialized any value. Then what happen in memory? Suppose we consider y is allocated over here, then y is the location name. Then here say, when as a user, when as a programmer we are not assigning any value to any variable, then what compiler will do? Compiler will assign unknown value, and that unknown value is known as a garbage value. So you just remember the concept of what do you mean by garbage value. So garbage value is nothing but whenever we declare any variable without initialization, at that time compiler initialize some unknown value, and that unknown value is known as a garbage value. After that, whenever you write y is equal to 10, then this garbage value will be overwrite with the new value. So this is the concept of variable. Again I repeat the same thing. Variable means which is a container where we generally store our value for the program executions. Now whenever we write a C program, then always we have to declare a variable at the beginning of the program. And whenever we want to declare a variable, then we have to give certain name. Then which rules you have to follow while you declare a variable? So naming convention, the concept is known as a naming convention for variables, right? So the first rules to give a variable name is, variable name can be in form of uppercase. We can give the variable name in uppercase or a lowercase that contain letter, digit and special symbol. But in special symbol, only one special symbol is allowed, that is underscore. So if we take certain example like integer, capital H, it's a valid, comma, sub 1, so it is a combination of character and number, this is also valid. Then roll underscore number, so here underscore is also valid. So all these three variables names are valid. Another thing is, other than underscore, no other punctuation marks is allowed in a variable name. So other than underscore, no other punctuation marks is allowed in a variable name. So for example, integer roll star number, so we cannot use star in a variable name. So this is an invalid variable name, and if you give this kind of variable name, then compiler will generate the error. Then third rules, that variable name always start with the alphabet. It should be start, it must be start with the character. You can say alphabet means character. For example, integer subject 1, that is valid because here variable name start with the character. But if you write integer 1 sub, then here it start with the number, so this is invalid name. So variable name must be start with the alphabet. That alphabet may be a small or a character, that is not a things, but it must be start with the alphabet. You cannot start any variable name with the numbers. But once you write one character, after that you can write any number of digits, right? So this is one thing you have to remember as a part of naming rules for variable. This is the third rules. Fourth rules, white space or a tab is not allowed in a variable name. For example, integer and you want to declare a roll number kind of variable, then roll space number, this is invalid. We cannot leave a space between the variable name, but instead of that you can put the underscores. So if we see the practical of all these rules, then see here, the first rule say that it should be alphabet or row lowercase small. Now see, if I declare capital X is equal to 10 or suppose it's like capital Age, right? And if I compile this program, there is no errors. Even if I write sub 1, then again compile, there is no error. So this is all are the valid. Now suppose in between if I give another like roll star number, and now if I compile this, see it gives an error, declaration syntax error. It means star is not allowed in a variable name, but instead of star if I mention underscore over here in a roll number, now if I compile this, there is not an issue, right? Another thing is, suppose if I declare a variable like for example x1, right, then there is no issue because the variable name is start with the character. But instead of that, if I declare 1x for example, right, and if we compile then it gives the declaration terminate incorrectly, right? So 1x is an invalid variable name. We cannot mention a digit at the beginning. And white space, instead of underscore, suppose if I leave a space between roll number, then white space is not allowed. Again it gives the error. So this is the overall concept of the naming rules that we have to follow while we give a variable name. Few more rules for that. Fifth rules is keywords cannot be used as a variable name. Keywords means, in previous video we have seen the 32 keywords. Keywords means the predefined words available in C language. So that keywords name we cannot give as a variable name. For example, integer, then for and break. For and break both are the keywords. So that is a invalid, right? And the sixth rule says variable name is a case sensitive. So if you write the variable name capital T total, then all small letter total, so both are different because here T is capital, here T is small. Okay, spelling is same, but C language is a case sensitive. So if case is different, then it will consider the different variables, right? So here integer capital total comma small total, or all capital total, or a combination TO total. So all are not a same variable, but all are the different variable because the case, or you can say the capital and small letters are different. That's why these all are considered as a different variables. So that also you have to take care while you define the variable name. And variable name should be unique in an entire program or in a function block. It means we cannot define the same variable for multiple times. So it should be a unique in a within a block. That block may be a function block. So let's see the practicals of this. The first is the keywords. Now suppose if here if I declare integer 4, so here 4 is a keyword, then if I run this, it gives the error declarations termination error. right? So keywords are not allowed for a variable name. Yeah, but if we write like this 4, then this is not a keyword because all keywords are in a small letters, but here F is a capital. So it's not a you can say the keyword. So if I run this, it gives a undefined symbol Z. Okay, here we have used, so it's not a error of that, but it's a different error. So now see, there is no error because here 4 is a spelling is correct, but F is a capital, so it's not a keyword because in C language 4 is mentioned in a small. Then variable name is case sensitive. Case sensitive means suppose here if I declare x is declared as an integer and the same x if I declare as a float, then it will give me an error like this, right? Multiple declaration of x. But instead of that, if I declare capital X, then small x and capital X both are the different. So if I execute this, now see there is no error. Similarly, if I declare like a total like this, right? And if I run this program Alt F9, then if I write like total, so here see the spellings are same but the case are different. So again both are considered as a different variable, so there is no error in this, right? So case sensitive that you take care while you declare the variables. And variable name must be unique. If I declare suppose character and again total, so here total is declared as a float and character, so it's not a unique because within the function block all variable must be a unique. Unique means it should be defined only single time. So if you run this program, it display error multiple declarations of total. So here we have declared total as a float, here we have declared total as a character. So these are the common rules you have to follow because it is very important whenever we write any C program. The first basic requirement is to declare a variable, and when you declare a variable we have to give a name of that variable. And how to give a name of variable, for that we have to follow all these 7 different rules. So I hope friends you understood 2 concepts in this video, and here few examples are there which are the valid variables, which are the invalid variables. So QTY, it's a valid because all are characters. EMP space number, it's invalid because space is not allowed. Roll dash number, it's invalid because the dash special symbol is not allowed in variable name. Auto, invalid because auto is a keyword, so keyword cannot be a variable. Then pin 1 2 3, it's a valid because variable name start with the character. After that we can mention any number of digits. Then 1x is a invalid because a variable name cannot start with the numbers. And item underscore QTY, it's valid because underscore is allowed in the variable name. So I hope friends you understood this concept of identifiers and variables, and in next video we will discuss the concept of escape sequence characters. And in this video description part I have also mentioned the link of all other theory and practical video for your reference. So please friends, share this video, like this video, and for getting the updates of upcoming video, please subscribe this video channel. So in next video we will discuss escape sequence character. Thank you very much.